Welcome to this edition of Hindsight is Horrifying, the show where two mostly normal and somewhat cynical adults discuss life as members of the TV generation. Now, here are your hosts, Darth Jada and Jason Mitchell.
Hello, fellow quarantiners? Is that what we are?
I suppose so. Pandemic survivors.
Fellow shut-ins.
Yes.
We have reached the end of the world, and it is a
Bleak.
Joel Schumacher movie.
And it is bleak. God.
And, well, you may have noticed that we're in different surroundings because we have taken advantage of the fact that the world has been abandoned.
Yes, we took over an entire building just for this episode.
Yes, we've got a fresh water supply. We've got a vegetable garden in the back, so we should be good to go.
Oh, I thought we were growing weed. Uh-oh.
Well, there's no law anymore, so I guess.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Well, that's good. Shoo.
Yeah.
Won't get in trouble for it at the very least.
But we also have some guests.
Yes, we do.
And
the most guests we've ever
This is a
had
record.
on the show.
This is
Yep.
a record.
Absolutely.
And joining us live by Zoom.
A little awkwardly, albeit, but joining us nonetheless.
Why don't you introduce everybody to everybody?
Absolutely. So, you know them, you love them. They've visited our studio before. We have in one corner Alyssa and young Adam. Say hi, guys.
Hey guys!
Hi guys.
All right. And then, of course, the notorious, the infamous Batman.
I've got to come in costume.
Oh, we lost you. Oh, your ear fell.
I bet the real Batman probably faced these kinds of problems.
I'm old Adam. I experience a little bit of ear dysfunction.
Yeah, they make a pill for that now.
His hearing has gone 50%.
Yeah.
Oh my.
You look very Batman year one. No, I'm just kidding.
It's very Adam West Batman.
No, it's very Dark Knight.
Now he looks like the 40s black and white serials.
Yeah, yeah.
Now he looks like Mickey Mouse because he's like floppy ears. Oh, goodness.
I'm getting sort of a
I love
Princess
cereal.
Bride vibe.
Oh, yeah, he's the man in black.
So, as you may have noticed, we're talking a lot about Batman.
Why is that, Jason?
And the reason is because we thought, well, we didn't think.
Well, no.
We just drew a movie out of a hat.
I don't know about we. This was a Jason recommendation.
It was.
So I'm not going down for this one.
I wanted to watch a movie that wasn't just bad.
Just so fantastically bad.
A fantastic bad movie.
That it scarred a generation.
Yes, and ruined like 4 people's careers.
Something like that, yeah.
Yes,
say.
so we are, of
or at
course,
least derailed them for a significant period of time.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
we're talking, of course, about the movie that makes the one with Val Kilmer look watchable, Batman and Robin.
Woo!
And you may be able to see it playing in glorious HD behind us.
Absolutely.
Arnold Schwarzenegger with his blue icy boobs.
Well, and we've already missed the fantastic costume shots with the nipples and the cod pieces and the ass shots while Robin and Batman were gearing up in the Batcave.
Yeah, let's
Which,
talk. Yeah,
God.
let's before we get too far into it, let's put a little bit of context down.
Yeah,
which
do we
is-
want a synopsis or?
Well, before we say the synopsis, where was this movie? This is the 4th of the original
Fourth installment. Yes.
major production. It wasn't the 4th Batman movie. They had, of course, made Batman the movie in 1968 or something.
Yeah, something right.
With Burgess Meredith and Cesar Romero.
Right.
Cesar Romero, who couldn't be bothered to shave his mustache, so they just
Nope.
went with it. This is, of course, number 4. Number 1 was Batman with Michael Keaton.
Yes.
Amazing movie. One of my all-time favorite movies. Then there was Batman Returns, which sort of warned us all because it wasn't.
It started taking a slight nosedive.
Yeah.
Just slightly.
And then the Batman Forever, which, to the best of my knowledge, no one has ever seen Batman Forever.
I've seen it plenty of
Do
times.
you remember anything about it?
I do. I remember it better than this one.
Oh.
I liked that one better than this one, honestly.
Well,
But that's
this
not
one is,
hard to
to
do.
me, this one's much more memorable.
Well, I can see why because of all the iconic ice puns and just, oh, God.
Yes, and Uma Thurman's ass.
Well, yeah.
And it has that going for it. So why don't you tell us what the movie's about?
Okay, well, the thrilling synopsis on Google is Batman and Robin try to prevent the evil pair of Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy from freezing the town. While doing so, they also try to continue their partnership. That's the entire synopsis for a 2-hour movie. Can you believe it?
And it is 2 hours.
Yes, it is. It's so much longer than I remember it being. My God.
So I want to turn to our guests.
Yes.
Since we actually have Batman, live by phone. Mr. Man, I put it to you. May I call you Bat?
Yes, you may. Yes, you may.
What was the
What is
deal?
your question?
What was the deal, man?
Well, we all have good days and bad days. And yeah, this was one of our deeper experiments in humor. I don't know how to explain it.
Use that
I'll
term
just-
lightly. Humor.
I'm at a lot of words, but Arnold was in it.
Yes. Got paid a lot of money.
$25 million to be
20,
exact.
$25 million.
Yes.
Yes, he was.
Arnold was hot shit. At
He
that
was.
time.
He was a top box
was,
office draw,
yeah.
absolutely. That's why he even gets top billing above Clooney, above everybody, because
Yeah.
he was a bigger star at the time.
Well,
in
I heard,
97.
I heard, and I don't know if this is true, but that on set he had about 10 or 11 retainers that were constantly with him. And he would, like when he was getting his makeup on, he had people massaging his hands.
Oh, dear God.
And he had this whole entourage, and people would show up. I think I'm trying to remember, it was like rock stars, and friends of his would show up, and they would bring him cigars.
So he's just got a fancy entourage following him around on
Yeah,
set.
and,
Oh, God.
and he actually
What a diva.
the cigars that you see in the movie, those were cigars people brought to him. He had them painted white. So he could smoke
not.
yes, he did. They were painted white so he could smoke his Cuban cigars because the man loved his cigars.
Well, and
He did.
didn't they
Yeah.
incorporate that into the movie? Was that one of his? Because he
Yeah.
smokes one at some
Yeah,
point.
that was his. That
Oh
was
my God.
that was one of Arnie's.
That
That's
is
amazing.
Arnie's.
Arnold loved
Yeah.
drummers and cigars.
He's a big cigar guy.
Yeah.
How old was everybody when they saw this movie?
This would be 1997, gang.
What year?
97?
I think I was 12. I don't think I could go in to see it yet.
In 97, I would have been 9 or 10 years old.
So I was 18. And-
I was 5 years old.
I was 4.
Oh, that's
Jesus
effing
Christ.
adorable.
So I was the prime demographic for this movie.
Yep.
And we rented it on
Absolutely.
VHS when it came out to Blockbuster.
Which is a very old sentence to even utter
Yeah.
out loud. So
Yeah.
I do have to commend you for that one, young Adam.
It's fair.
And we were discussing today before we even got on camera the fact that we each had to pay $4 to rent this monstrosity on
Yeah.
Amazon
I was-
Prime. Way too much money, in
Well-
my personal
Oh.
opinion. Way
I
too
was
much.
actually going to go out and buy it on like Blu-ray for $5, but it's Corona. So
Yeah, Prime doesn't exist anymore. Things just show up when they're going to show up.
Let's talk about the beginning because Batman and Robin have confronted Mr. Freeze, who is stealing diamonds because his
Yes.
suit is powered by diamonds.
Yes,
Yes.
inexplicably.
Mr.
Iceman cometh.
Listen, I just love the fact that Mr. Freeze, who makes all kinds of ice puns,
Yes.
All he
has a
does.
suit powered by diamonds, which slang word is ice.
Yeah.
that
That.
is
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that was the theme.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed that someone actually wrote this. That someone sat down at presumably a computer, and wrote those one-liners. And was he? I have to wonder. Was the screenwriter, when he would write "take a chill pill," did he just take a shot of vodka?
absinthe. I think it was absinthe.
He just shakes a shot. Fuck my life.
Yeah.
Something akin to that. And not just Mr. Freeze.
I want a car.
either.
Chicks take the car.
Exactly. That's the line that the movie starts out with, and then
This is why Superman works alone.
precisely.
Ah.
And my thought to that was, yeah, Robin, maybe you don't have a car, but at least he doesn't make you ride bitch like with the ambiguously gay duo. So
Yeah.
there is that.
Yeah.
So I now I know I'm looking way too much into this for this movie.
Oh,
at
go
all,
for it.
But now that he's implying that Superman exists, where the hell is Superman?
Oh, he can't be bothered.
Metropolis, duh.
Yeah, it's like Captain Marvel. They made such a big deal about her appearing in the MCU, and then she shows up for like 12 minutes, and that's pretty much it. I've got other things to do, guys. So I'm guessing that's...
Well, yeah, that's sort of how it is with... I mean, that's even how it is in the comics. You know, people frequently say, you know, man, can't Batman pick up the phone, call Soup? And it's almost like, is it an ego thing? Is it, Mr. Man? I put it to you. Is it an ego thing that you do not call Superman to ask him for help?
I can do this alone.
Yeah, hey, this is my thought is they maybe tried to recapture the campiness of the 60s, the 60s TV show and the movie, but
you
know, all the writers who successfully pulled that off were dead, and so they tried again.
Yeah,
they didn't.
I was telling Darth Jader earlier that just you have to look at this movie as a big budget version of the Adam West TV show.
It is. It absolutely is, and I think that's why it failed. Ultimately, because like you said, you didn't have those writers who understood camp. And
not only that, but everything was so rushed because by the time this movie came around, people, you know, they dug deep in their pockets. They spent hundreds of millions or millions of dollars to make it. And it did bring back over 100 million at the box office. But the whole rush of it, the script took less time than it should have. Everything was rushed because they were in a huge hurry to make toys.
Yeah.
That they were obsessed with making money off of that.
They were in such a rush to make toys that they took the storyboard art and they gave it to the toy makers, and the original Batgirl costume had a full cowl like Batman does.
Okay.
And they ultimately changed it, but not in time for the toys. And so the toys actually went out with the cowl.
Oh my God.
Yeah. A lot of confused children.
I can imagine.
I should have looked for this. I have an original George Clooney Batman action figure that came out when the movie came out. And you can like push his head into his body and put the cowl and cape on top of it. And you can there's attachable ice skates.
Yes, that's another thing. All the convenient gadgets that just happen in this movie. Like, oh, thank God Alfred thought to sew in those blades into our boots, Robin.
Well, and what's weird about the decision to do the 60s camp thing is that, you know, the first Batman, the 1989 Batman, with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. Sorry, with Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton.
There you go.
Because he got top billing also.
He should have.
Yeah.
He did. Well, that's part of the problem, I think, is that Tim Burton came along and changed everybody's perception of Batman so drastically with such a dark take on everything that I don't think people were like ready to just go back to campy Batman again.
Well, now hold on a second. That was not Tim Burton. That was Frank Miller. He rewrote the whole concept of it, but made a film. I just thought maybe I could one up you, young Adam.
No, but you are right, because if you've ever read The Dark Knight, it's gritty. It's, you know, it's
a bit of a rough ride.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's where the Christopher Nolan Batman's ultimately landed as far as tone. It's actually dark. It's even darker than those.
Well, and even with this decision, because Val Kilmer was in Batman Forever immediately before Batman and Robin. And part of the reason why he decided not to return as Batman is because he wanted to do Island of Dr. Moreau because Marlon Brando was in it. And he apparently got a very swollen head. Like even Joel Schumacher was quoted as saying, yeah, being Batman the first time around when we went on the press tour, it just got in Kilmer's head. And he goes, you know what? I'm not even going to get into that. But the thing is, he wanted to do Moreau because Marlon Brando was going to be in it. And he thought that George Clooney would bring a lighter representation to Batman, which it's like you were saying, I don't think people were expecting that really sharp turn.
Yeah, can I just point out one thing here? One of the things that annoys me to no end in this movie is the fact that in this movie, hot equals red, cold equals blue.
Well, yeah.
So if like literally
the hottest fire isn't blue or anything.
Yeah, well, but it's like Batman's heating up the water to thaw out Robin, and it turns red.
Which I'm just amazed that Batman can deadlift an ice encased Robin.
Oh, he's a strong man.
He just deadlifts him and puts him in a pool.
Strong man.
I know he's strong, but is he that strong? He's just a regular guy at the end of the day. He's not Superman. He can't.
You've got 11 minutes
to thaw these people, Commissioner. But yeah.
Imagine the Christopher Nolan, imagine Christian Bale in this movie though, and he would just punch Poison Ivy square in the face.
Oh yeah, he would. Yeah, you gotta wonder.
Throw her in front of a train.
Well, I don't know. That depends if her pheromone dust hit him in the
Hey.
face first. So
I think he'd be immune. He'd bang her, then throw her in front of a train.
oh god,
There you go.
Yeah, that
the ultimate revenge.
Christopher Nolan would. Yeah, you know.
This is the movie that single-handedly killed the Batman franchise for
Yes.
8 years.
yeah,
Yeah, and you know, I read somewhere. I don't know who said this, but and I thought this was a good observation that if you think about it, it's the most important comic book movie ever made
do tell.
because it forced everyone, all the studios, to completely reevaluate how you do comic book movies.
You know, that's a good point.
And can I point out real quick, just as an aside, the scientist here?
Yes,
Okay, have you ever seen, well, first of all, Gremlins 2.
John Glover.
Yeah, Gremlins 2.
Yes,
But
Oh, who could figure out Gremlins 2,
Yeah.
the new batch?
there's about as much science in that movie as there is in this one. So you know,
Yeah, see, but I like that movie, though.
no, I love
Yeah,
Gremlins. I'm not.
yeah.
but
I like Gremlins, too.
But they rely too heavily on science that's just utterly nonsensical, which I guess is the
Yeah.
comic book shtick because it doesn't make any sense.
But, God, there's so much to talk about.
I'm the only
really
one who
is.
notices, like, it does the exact same thing as the Captain America serum, and it's also called Super Soldier Serum.
Oh, yeah.
I did not pick up on that.
That's a good
Good
point.
Good catch.
It was very smart of him to go ahead and put him in an oversized iron diaper.
Yeah, because
You know,
I
that
mean, he
was
had
smart.
to grow into it.
And I guess the shoes were bigger.
I'm supposing, but yeah,
know.
he's got this what Dr. Isley calls the Gilgamesh wing because he's doing these really weird experiments and he drills bioducts in the brain of a felon, a multiple murderous felon,
Yes.
into his limbic system
And turns him into El Santo.
Yeah, exactly. Turns him into a bigger guy than Arnold. So
El
you know.
Santo will save us.
Exactly. And
An
then,
actor who tragically died right after this movie.
Really?
Yep. He died. He was 40 years old when he died.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sad.
Who died?
The actor who plays Bane.
Bane.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought his name was Abby something. I don't know.
Abby
Normal?
That's enough out of you, Mr. Man.
That works on multiple.
I got Arnold to play Bane in this movie.
And I love that. I love that. So Uma Thurman's character, she's trying to crossbreed plants and animals so that plants can defend themselves just as aggressively as, you know, say like a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
And
She's not a great scientist.
no,
I just love the fact that they do the classic 90s thing, which is like the hot girl who
Oh, yeah.
is
Yeah.
secretly hot is
Oh, but
just
she
wearing,
wears
like,
glasses.
baggy clothes and glasses
Yes. Yeah.
until she becomes Poison Ivy.
Yeah. Well, you know, she fell into that pit of makeup.
Yes. And body
And tight
glitter.
clothing.
Yeah,
Lots of
yeah.
body glitter.
Yeah.
It was like a She's All That transformation.
no, that's
Yes,
exactly
yeah.
what it was. You take off the
Yeah.
glasses, and oh my God, she was hot the whole time. You just didn't realize.
Wait, you mean love don't mean a thing?
both?
Oh, okay.
They both do that. But yeah, so Dr. Jason Woodrow is bastardizing Uma Thurman's work and he's making these super soldiers like Bane and he's selling them to the highest black market bidder.
Yes.
So that's what's happening
Starting
there.
at $10 million.
Yes, and I love the line that goes with that because he's got one of his bidders on the phone. He goes, "We'll have a flawless super soldier out to you tomorrow by overnight mail." It's so bad.
Like again, did the screenwriter?
Even before
Yeah, did the screenwriter write that and laugh, or did he write it and just cry a little tear?
This is my favorite moment of Uma Thurman's acting, by the way. You can't do that to the plants.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, well, I'm
My
not good at
favorite-
rejection, so now you'll die."
So is she like an anti-vegetarian? Like, does she just eat meat because she just hates animals?
You gotta wonder. Well, she doesn't hate animals. She wants plants to have the same capabilities as animals. So you have to wonder what she does subsist on.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why
She
they.
hates people.
She hates men, primarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Men,
Yeah.
but people.
Well, and this great part we
She's
haven't
like
gotten.
if Gail was a bad guy
Gail from
from Bob's Burgers.
Your kisses are so much
different
from my
Bob's
plants. But yeah.
got my Gales mixed up.
So yeah, Dr. Monroe, I think his name is, Woodrow, Dr. Woodrow.
Who was also in the Mouth of Madness, which I watched night before last.
Not familiar.
Yeah. Oh, good movie. If you
Is that the John Carpenter movie?
yes, the John Carpenter movie.
I still have never seen that one.
I was surprised how much I enjoyed it.
Quarantine recommendation.
Yeah,
from
definitely. If it's late at night and you want a good tone, like a good creepy tone, that it's good. And Sam Neill's in it, and he's fantastic.
Well,
I always love some John Carpenter action.
And here's another great bout of science with Dr. Freeze.
Just the shot of Arnold. Whoa, I'm falling into the thing.
And the science behind falling into below freezing water, and but there's something like this in every superhero movie, like, Spider-Man got bitten and now he's superhero.
But this is the laziest.
No, it's awful.
Yeah.
It's similar to what they did with Harley Quinn. Like they pushed her into a vat of chemicals. She became Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or it's that happened with Jack Nicholson in the first Batman movie.
Yeah.
And then how Harvey had acid thrown in his face and became a supervillain. So
I love the classic supervillain tropes. They're great.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that they make it a point to describe Arnold Schwarzenegger's version of Dr. Freeze as a 10-time decathlon Olympian and scientist.
Well, because in the comics, if we recall, Mr. Freeze is this scrawny little thing. He's not this super buff villain.
Yeah, his thing is he freezes stuff.
Yeah, that's his weapon.
Let it go.
He's not also a monster on top of that. So I guess they had to write that in to explain why Mr. Freeze in this one is suddenly a gigantic,
Hey, let's do a fan theory. Let's figure out how we can put this and Frozen in the same universe.
Oh God, I've never seen Frozen. I refuse to see it. So.
You've never seen Frozen?
I haven't. I don't even.
I've never
even. You are a better person for it.
Mr. Freeze is secretly Elsa's real baby daddy.
I think that, Uma Thurman's her actual mom. Yeah.
Hey,
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey guys. I have to ask. What killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice Age.
When I saw that, I thought the funniest thing in the world would have been if he had said, "What killed the dinosaurs?" and Batman said, "A comet?" and just totally ruined his joke.
And we were even talking about this off camera before we started rolling. The whole script is bad puns. Like Jason said, it would have made more sense if somebody made a bad pun or a dad joke, as it were, and then Robin looks at him and goes, "Come on, man, really?"
Come on,
it's like a meme of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. All you have are bad puns.
Yes.
Yep. Even like Robin when he runs.
Why, when men fall into liquid, they come out ugly, and then when women do, they come out like supermodels? It's strange.
It's one of the few gender advancements that we have.
That's a very good point.
It's like objectifying villainesses.
Yeah, it's like Lex.
You know what? Because nobody wants to look at an ugly female villain.
This is true. And plus, Adam, I have to tell you, even though she came out hot, her clothes still don't have pockets. So whatever.
Right? What's up with that?
Well, that's because the men pay all the tabs.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Batman doesn't have pockets, but he seems to always have all the shit he needs.
He's got that really roomy cod piece.
Yeah, hang on a second. Let me. I got something in here for this.
And he's got a utility belt, so like Adam says, he doesn't need pockets.
It's the classic Adam West trope where he has exactly what he needs at that time.
Oh my God, the Bat credit card.
Oh,
I wanted to vomit and burn my TV.
Never leave the cave without it.
God. And then that awful line he has where Robin runs into that vase in the Antiquities Museum and you break it, you bought it. And it's just like, oh God, guys, come on.
By the way, when I was 5 years old and watched this was my second favorite Batman movie next to the '89 movie. Just saying.
Okay.
Well, I could see, a little kid watching it, and that's who it was made for.
Especially a single-digit boy staring at Uma Thurman for an hour and a half, like, in the tight Ivy outfit.
At 5 years old,
I started going through puberty. I started feeling things.
Exactly. All I'm saying
she
is
jump-started
this is my little brother's favorite Batman movie, and he would, at 3 years old, tell my mother, "I love Poison Ivy. I'm gonna marry her. Look how beautiful she is." See,
and that's the little boy version of that. So there.
Show him Kill Bill.
And of course, you get this. Oh, we're at the moment right now. She just sort of blossoms out of the earth because now she's a super hot villain.
And somehow the acid in the dirt made her shirt a crop top.
Yeah.
It's like Lara Croft, Tomb Raider now.
Yeah, very Lara Croft.
It's like Lara Croft meets Pebbles from the Flintstones.
And apparently she's still regenerating because she hasn't gotten her accent down yet.
Yeah, she turns into a Southern belle later in the movie.
Yeah.
But I love the line where she does kill the doctor who, pushed her in the first place, because she says that her blood was replaced with aloe, and then her lips were filled with venom, yet she's called Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Because those are two different things, but what would I know?
They are. And
Well, Venom was already taken. That's Spider-Man's arch
That's true.
nemesis.
Yeah, I suppose. She could be poison. Yeah, she could be venomous Ivy. I don't know. Like, who knows?
I mean, she keeps like referring to herself until she decides on PoisonIvy as Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. She's got
We
some
have
delusions.
to talk
of
about
grandeur.
Mr. Freeze.
Yes.
His lair.
Yes. No, we have to.
Oh my God.
The demon hockey players are the best.
And he's okay. So for people who are playing along at home, Mr. Freeze is in his lair wearing a bathrobe and very comfy looking
Polar bear
slippies. Even though he wants to be cold, like he has to be cold, wouldn't he be reveling in the fact that he'd be running around naked?
And he has like half naked Vivica A. Fox just hanging out on retainer, I suppose.
Yes.
And yet he's there just to reject her.
Well, she's apparently she's apparently on her way to audition for The Fifth Element.
Yes.
He can't get aroused anymore. So why is she there?
Right.
That's the question we asked, because she was like, I just want to be with you. And he was like, sorry, only for my wife. I'm like, then why is she there in lingerie?
That's just a waste of money.
Yeah, and then she just, okay.
Fine. And
Meh.
so, Alyssa, I pose a question to you, and the boys are going to roll their eyes for a second because it's a Twilight comparison question.
Yes.
If Mr. Freeze is cold everywhere,
You mean even his ding dong?
yes, how is anybody ever going to hook up with him ever again? Yeah.
Well,
Wasn't
I guess
there-
it stays icy hard for as
That's
long
true.
Oh.
No, but okay.
That's
so
true.
isn't it true that when it's cold, it shrinks?
Oh,
Wouldn't
no,
shrinkage.
You're right.
0 degrees all the time make it like a raisin?
That's true. His
You would think so.
testicles have retreated all the way back up, like next to his kidneys.
He's not even
Yeah.
sure what gender he is anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, shrinkage is real, guys.
Bloody hell, I'm a woman.
Oh, goodness.
which is why the girls love him, because then they don't have to give any attention to the testicles.
Oh, God.
And why is his wife in a secret compartment in the? I don't even.
What's with the frozen TV dinners being the trap door and everything?
I don't know.
This is the freezer.
No, I am actually curious about this shot, and this is my one filmmaking question for this whole movie. Because at first I thought they had an actress standing in front of like a panel and they were just blowing bubbles through water.
Right.
But she actually does look like if
Like
you look,
she's floating.
and
yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if that's not CG. They didn't do that well back
No.
then.
No,
So she
it
is
was
actually. I guess they had an actress.
You don't think they made a fake woman?
I'm thinking either A, they have an actress and she's just holding her breath really, really well, or
Yeah.
B, they made a wax figure of the same actress.
They might
and just
have.
stuck her in the back.
For $100
I was
million
thinking
bucks.
a fake woman.
Maybe a rejection from a wax museum that they don't want to have on display.
Well, if you go to a Pizza Hut and you see Joel Schumacher, maybe you can ask him.
There you go.
Yeah, unless he's busting a table. If
Starting
he,
with fat nipples.
yeah.
Wasn't Pizza Hut giving out toys from this movie too? I want to
Probably.
say back in '97 that would have been very likely.
I want to take that back though, because one thing about Joel Schumacher that actually impressed me in doing research for this episode was that he actually he takes full credit.
Yeah,
Like,
you were telling me about this.
He said, don't blame the screenwriter. Don't blame the actor. The actors did a great job. The screenwriter did a great job. It's my fault. My name's on the top of the movie. If you're going to blame anybody, blame me.
That's big of him.
And, I mean,
Very good.
and tell the ladies and gentlemen the story of George Clooney.
Yeah, so this
Yeah.
is a rumor that I have not substantiated, but I've always heard for years and years that when people would run up to George Clooney after this movie came out and tell him, "Oh, Mr. Clooney, I saw you in Batman," he would give them $8
He would refund them
to
the price
refund
of
their
the movie.
ticket. Yeah,
Yeah, I heard about
I've
that.
always heard that, and I really hope it's true.
Well,
I
supposedly
heard about that.
he because he was still doing ER at
yeah.
the time, and supposedly
He'd come a long way from Roseanne
yeah.
as Booker.
Yeah, he showed up on the ER set in his full Batman kit, just to say hi to everybody.
Oh
as
my
Batman.
God, that's
And I
adorable.
Because if you ever get to dress up as Batman and you don't go to where you work, What's wrong with you?
Seriously.
Yeah, what is wrong with
Yeah.
When you got the real, it's like Ben on Parks and Recreation. He just wears that costume around the house
Yeah.
every time he gets the opportunity.
Let's talk about Alicia Silverstone.
Oh, poor Alicia.
Coming off of that Clueless fame.
Yeah.
This is really disappointing what happened to her.
Yeah, tell us this. This is a great story. It's very sad though.
Apparently, Alicia Silverstone committed the horrible sin of gaining a couple of extra pounds.
Which in Hollywood,
And
that's
that
the cardinal.
Yeah, and
sin.
that became the news story about this production.
What?
Yeah. They cut
Really?
scenes. Yeah, they cut scenes because you'll notice she's really not in the movie that much, but it feels
that
like
much.
she should be. They cut scenes. They minimized her time in her costume, and there was a guy in the art department who actually drew something that looked like a Batman comic cover, or maybe it was a movie poster of them trying to put a girdle on her.
That's so hateful.
It was absolutely. And Joel Schumacher, again, to his credit, he went out and he kept telling people, like, guys, you can't do this. This is a teenage girl.
Yeah, you're gonna mess with her body image forever.
You know, I mean,
Yeah, really.
like, you're horrible human beings.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Alicia Silverstone, if you're for some reason watching this right now, you looked good in that movie.
Yes, you
Don't
did.
let anybody tell you otherwise.
Yes.
You made that suit look good, girl. Don't let anybody tell you different.
Because, you know, Uma Thurman, you know, she's got the hot thing going on because of the costume. But,
Yeah.
but you're prettier.
Oh.
I mean,
Well, and it's funny because several different actresses, as is wont to happen, were considered for different roles, or like especially with Uma Thurman, Demi Moore could have been Poison Ivy, or
boy.
Demi Moore.
That would've been awesome.
That would've been good.
or Sharon Stone, two wildly different actresses.
Sharon Stone
Stone would
would.
have went too sexual with it.
Yeah.
As if that's possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then this will really get your goat. Guess who was considered for Batman before Clooney came on board?
Michael Keaton?
David Duchovny.
Oh my God.
David Duchovny.
Oh yeah,
David Duchovny was actually considered in the Christopher Nolan.
I can
he-
see it.
Fox Mulder himself.
Yeah, he was actually in the running to play Batman for Batman Begins.
But here's the biggest one. Guess who was considered as Mr. Freeze before Arnold came on board?
Never heard of X.
Bruce Willis.
Michael Dukakis.
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Actually, do you know who was supposed to play Mr. Freeze?
Tell me.
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick
I've heard of that
Stewart.
rumor.
Yeah.
No,
Patrick-
Patrick
always
Stewart
heard
is
that.
my dream casting for that
Yeah.
role.
That would have been pretty cool. And
Yeah.
he's got the build for it too. He looks like Mr. Freeze.
But oh god, it would be so sad watching this if it was Patrick Stewart. It
That's
was,
true.
I mean, well, of course, then he went and made Star Trek Picard.
You've probably seen
So
it.
you know,
Let's just. I mean, there's Dragonheart too, a movie that I love from my childhood, but I know it's not a great one. So we'll just skip right past that.
Dragonheart is a movie that gets a very firm meh from me. Like
I
it's
can
not one way or
imagine.
the other.
Sean Connery movie?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was pretty dumb.
Yeah.
What was that other one that came, the night movie, First Night?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Batman.
Yeah.
So Uma Thurman is crazy.
She's Scarlett O'Hara as Poison Ivy.
Oh my
Eventually.
God. We got to talk more about Bane.
Bane.
What was happening here?
I don't even know.
For-
I love how he's wearing a trench coat and a fedora, like the classic
Yeah.
disguise.
because those tubes springing out of his head aren't obvious enough that he's a complete monster.
that observatory though, that observatory is pretty awesome.
I know. That's the one thing that you have to appreciate about this movie. The sets are incredible.
Oh, the sets are great. They put all the money in the sets and the visuals and Arnold's salary.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and I've said this before about big budget movies. You know, if you watch a bad big budget movie, you know, yes, you know, the script or the acting or the directing or whatever is bad, but there's all of these really talented people that they don't, you know, they just got hired.
right.
And they're the people who do the set designs. I mean, there's somebody who goes out and buys the gack, you know, the stuff, the little things you put everywhere, you know, and those people are so talented and they don't get Academy Awards. Nobody knows who they are.
No, you don't hear about Jim for his amazing boom work.
Right.
Like,
But
it's
they make the movies though.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they're
We've
the
talked
people
about
who
this
actually
before.
make them. And Elle
Real
the Body McPherson.
Oh, and Mr. Brown, this is a note specifically for you because what's her name? Gossip Gertie from the news, who does all the announcing. She reminds me of that newscaster lady from Death Race 2000 because she even, and I wonder, no, because seriously, she says the exact same line. And so I wonder if it's an homage to Death Race because she goes, I'm here with my close personal friend, Bruce Wayne. And it's almost the exact same delivery. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I
like,
thought
where have I
of
heard
that when she said that line.
No, it's almost. I have to consider it an homage because it's the exact same line. So you gotta wonder.
So
It's not the same actress, is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, here she is in her glasses and her nerdy, professor costume before they let her be hot.
I'm not pretty. I'm not hot. Look at me. I'm wearing glasses.
And her hair's all tousled, and it's even a wig. But yeah, she's telling Bruce to basically let people starve and freeze
her
to death.
Ponytail and her glasses.
And then
She's
you have
like a tree.
Yeah.
Who's the supermodel dating Bruce? I cannot think of
Elle
her name.
McPherson.
Elle McPherson.
Elle
Thank
the
you.
Body McPherson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who did a stint on Friends as well.
They asked everybody in an interview if you could take home anything from the movie, what would it be? And Arnold said he wanted the suit, the Ice Mr. Freeze suit, and Uma Thurman said she wanted the Ivy throne, and George Clooney said he wanted Elle McPherson.
He would.
And they even
Such a 90s Clooney move.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they even do a nod to his, singledom because he was so famous for being the, permanent bachelor for so long.
Oh yeah.
That's what Adam told me.
He didn't believe in marriage.
No, and they even make a nod to that because the Gossip Gertie lady's like, so when are you two tying the knot? And he's like, oh geez, you want to help me out here? And she's like, yeah, we're good.
Can I just
I
point out?
literally looked at Alyssa when we were watching this and said, "There's no acting going on here."
No,
No,
he's
no.
sweating bullets.
Can I just point out that the Gotham Observatory security guards have like the best uniforms in the world
And zero skills.
and no skills.
No skills because Uma Thurman just walks in front of them. They're escorting her out, and she literally lays out her whole plan out
Yes.
loud.
Yes.
And they do nothing.
Yeah. Did you say something?
It was pre 9/11.
Yes. Yeah.
That
Well,
would explain a lot.
You are right though.
Monologuing.
Yeah, but no, you are absolutely right. There is, I mean, the what was the Batman, the post Batman or post 9/11 Batman? Dark, gritty,
Yeah.
everything sucks.
You could turn on an alarm and the police would actually show up, unlike in Die Hard.
Yeah. Bruce Willis could have played Batman.
Oh,
I
he could have.
think Bruce Willis could have
Well,
played
see,
Batman.
I think Clooney made a good Bruce Wayne because, I mean, in real life, he's a suave bachelor type. He made a great Bruce Wayne. And another thing about him as Batman, if memory serves, even Kilmer changed his voice a little bit, like firmed it up when he was in the suit. George Clooney is the only one, well, besides maybe Michael Keaton.
It was all done in post.
Okay.
Because about 97% of the dialogue in this movie was looped.
I did not know that.
Because
That
the
makes
sets,
sense.
all of the sets that they built were very loud sets. There was always stuff moving.
And they're vast.
They're echoey, and there's always like steam coming up, and so most of the dialogue, almost every word of dialogue, was re-recorded in a sound booth.
Gotcha.
And so and they would do a little bit to Clooney's voice when he was Batman. They would try to firm it up a little bit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But you're right. He didn't actually change his voice.
No, not at
That was-
all.
yeah.
Because if memory serves, I think Kilmer did firm his up a little bit, but Clooney's the only one who talks the exact same way, whether he's Bruce Wayne or Batman. Just no difference whatsoever. So you'd think that somebody would pick up on that.
How did Mr. Freeze attract his henchmen? The working conditions are miserable. Maybe he has a incredible salary and great benefits.
Great benefits, yeah.
Well, he has a lot of diamonds on hand, but I guess they all have to go to the suit. So what's he paying them with?
I was thinking that.
They were eating frozen TV dinners. They were working conditions were
Well, wait,
horrendous.
maybe they're interns.
Well, and Mr. Brown, I have to ask you, have you seen the little famous documentary on Netflix called Tiger King? Did you see the conditions that those poor bastards were working in? My God.
I've heard much about it, but I haven't yet dared do it.
Way worse than Mr.
I
Freeze's
started it, and
Gay Joe
Everybody's
Dirt and Tigers.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much
My
what it boils
mom,
down to.
my friends,
Everyone on the internet.
Everyone on the internet.
the
They've all
internet
watched
tells me to do it. I do it.
so Poison Ivy makes her appearance, and this is actually a nod to not Betty Davis. There's a movie from 1938, I think,
can't help you.
where
I don't know what
they
you're talking
literally do the exact same. It's a cabaret act that starts, and she's in a gorilla costume.
Oh, I was wondering about that because there's already these very attractive half-naked ladies up on stage that men are bidding over, and everyone gets distracted by a big hairy Muppet gorilla costume.
Yes.
Of all things, like
the sexiest gorilla ever.
well, once she takes the costume off, sure, but they don't know who's under it when
That's how sexy she is.
Sensually dancing.
People are looking, going, "That gorilla's got something." I don't know what it is. I'll pay $50,000 for that gorilla.
Pheromone dust.
Yeah.
Does Bane's gorilla dance too?
No.
I think he just follows her around. He's just in disguise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Disguise.
Disguise.
It must be terrible. Imagine how awful.
A brain.
Yeah, imagine how awful it would be living with Bane. You know, I mean, at least twice a day you'd hear poop.
I love this version of Bane.
Oh God.
This is not the Bane from the comic books.
No. And it's so weird because the Bane from the comic books, one of the overriding defining characteristics is the fact that he's really smart.
Right.
Yes.
And so it's so weird that you're going to, we'll just, wasn't there somebody else in the Batman canon, some other, henchman that they could have picked? I don't know. I'm not the biggest comic book expert.
Well, and then you have the Tom Hardy one who sounds like Sean Connery speaking into a bucket. Yes. So
it's true.
It's different with every
scotch.
Neither of the movie Banes are correct.
Bane, where are you from, Bane?
Gotham.
Yeah, I'm Egyptian.
I'm Egyptian, like in the Highlander.
So yeah, this is the high point of the movie. Specifically one shot here, and that's the high point of the movie.
Figuratively and
literally. Uma Thurman's ass.
Yeah, Uma Thurman's ass.
Yeah.
That's it, and I'm done. So it's been great. I hope you've enjoyed.
It's been a fun episode.
Up here comes Jason. Here comes.
And there we go. The high point of the movie.
Yep. Where you?
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll move there.
And then look at that. That's.
Look at that.
But wait a minute. If she
Reminds
turned
Jolly Green Giant.
Okay, explain.
Is this like one of those puberty things, or?
Well, remember the Jolly Green Giant? He had the same outfit that she
He
had
did.
on, and I don't know, the angle of her buttocks made it look a bit large. So anyway, one thing leads to another, but nevertheless, she's dancing now, so I'll be quiet.
Yes.
And what an entrance. 'Cause I do have to say this because in the beginning of the movie, Batman makes the exact same entrance that he made in Batman Forever when Jim Carrey goes, "Your entrance was good. His was better." Batman they did the same shot of him just shattering the glass and "Hello, Mr. Freeze," and he's just there. Whereas Uma Thurman, I think she's got the best entrance in the entire movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Easily.
Oh yeah.
Well, and it's
Falling into a crowd of adoring men.
Yes.
Absolutely.
This is when a lot of little boys watching the movie started to ask their parents questions about their body.
yes. Dad, I feel fizzy.
Well, and she's, infecting, she's got Batman and Robin under her spell with her pheromone dust. And she's, it is kind of inappropriate for the little kids that would have been watching this because they're bidding on her. And she goes, "Whoever bids on me, I'll bring everything you see and everything you don't."
Yeah.
It's just.
Why don't you come up and see me sometime?
And
Marilyn, who are you talking to?
I thought this was a children's film.
Yeah.
You would think so, but her mask is okay. It's not as good as mine, but
well, don't forget this was in an era. This was in an era when you would make a movie specifically aimed at children, and in say episode 3 of that series have the main character butcher a lot of children. So
yeah,
they didn't really know what they were doing when it came to that.
Yeah, I suppose so.
What I like is that the pheromones apparently they make people fall in love with her, and also they inspire amazing choreography.
And jealousy. Because that's when, Batman and Robin have their first lover snit when they mess up, not getting Mr. Freeze in the beginning. And then, now they're fighting over Poison Ivy instead of being in love with each other, which, is the rightful way of Batman and Robin.
I was about to make that joke too, like she uses the pheromones. It's not going to work,
Yoko
sister.
Of Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Why don't they just come to an agreement and have a threesome,
Yeah.
I don't think.
The express card. And they're bidding on her, and they just jump up. $4 million, $6 million, and yeah.
He's like, "I'll borrow it from you."
Yeah.
$4 million.
My favorite line's coming up pretty soon.
And again, if it was Abbott and Costello, it would work. But the comedic delivery just isn't there.
No, well, I don't think Chris.
Where are you going to get the money from? I'll borrow it from you.
Well, I don't think Chris O'Donnell and Clooney really had any chemistry. I think Kilmer and Chris O'Donnell have much better chemistry as Batman and Robin.
I agree.
We'll make that argument.
Yeah. Clooney really needed to be doing this movie solo.
Yeah, he didn't need people to play off of.
Yeah.
He doesn't have, and he's kind of funny. Like when you see him in Ocean's 11, he and Brad Pitt somehow made that work, but it still wasn't hilarious, fall down funny. It was just kind of, it was all in the writing. It wasn't even really in the delivery.
Also, can I point out how long it's been since we've seen Alicia Silverstone?
She kind of quit acting,
Yeah,
so it
it's
has.
been a
No,
while.
I meant in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, she's doing stuff. She's doing like Hallmark movies. I think.
On the treadmill right now, losing weight.
Probably so.
Aw.
She's crying
Low blow,
over her
Batman.
cottage cheese.
She's crying in her trailer eating ice cream.
Listen,
Oh,
y'all are so mean. Oh my
While,
god.
while some awful man of this movie is like, all right, it's been 2 hours. Let's weigh you again.
Yeah.
Maybe then you'll get
Yeah.
a scene.
Look at all that sweet and low.
this is my favorite line coming up when Arnold's asking for the diamond from Poison Ivy.
Oh
He's
yes,
like,
he sent me a clip. Do it for us, Adam.
he's like, give me the diamond, god and gal.
And he's guessing her name, and it's just like Plant Lady. Like he doesn't even make good
Plant
guesses. They're
Lady?
so awful.
Fine woman.
Oh god. Yeah, and
The future governor of California, ladies and gentlemen.
Future
Well-
governor.
Did anybody see his recent clip where it was a quarantine video? So I guess you have to consider he's a little off, just like the rest of us right now. But there's a donkey and a small pony in his home. He's at his kitchen table eating salad, and they're just sort of nosing up like dogs, like they want his food. And he just starts feeding his salad to his pet burro and, pony. So I think
That's
he's gone
amazing.
a little overboard during the quarantine, just like the rest of us.
That's amazing.
It is.
Did you know that this is the second and final time Arnold ever played a villain?
Oh,
I'm
Yeah,
blinking.
that's right.
What's,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
the other time I'm blinking?
The
Terminator.
original Terminator.
Oh, duh.
Yeah, Terminator.
Okay.
Yeah.
And apparently he didn't put on the suit that often. It's funny that you say that he wanted to take that as a set piece, because apparently he let the stunt double wear it as much as possible unless he actually had to be in the suit.
They had to, because in his contract, he had a very specific 12-hour limit per day.
Oh, okay. And it took so
and
much
it took
time
so
and effort.
long.
Yeah, that makes sense. Kind of like
Can you imagine getting paid $25 million and calling shots like that?
No, I can't. I've never had that kind of power.
I mean, can you
ever.
imagine?
No.
You're getting paid $25 million and you're being the dickhead.
Yep.
I would just like $1 million. I mean,
Yeah. $200.
yeah.
I'll do your movie.
I'll do it for free.
Oh, and
Yeah.
we missed the logical moment right here where Poison Ivy tries to, brainwash the Freeze and blow pheromone dust in his face. And he's like, oh, no, I'm too cold for that. Like, just because he's cold, pheromones don't affect him anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all right.
Or it's true love.
one way or the other.
Yeah.
He's
Or
loyal to his
that.
wife. How sweet.
But I do love the fact that, like, in turn, Poison Ivy becomes obsessed with him. And she was like, he doesn't fall for my tricks. I must have him.
Yeah, because Commissioner
Yeah.
Gordon, like, immediately after that says, Miss Ivy, you just met the most notorious man in Gotham. And she's like, that's not a man. That's a god. So that's where she starts affecting that really crazy accent.
Oh my God. I'm
And this-
sorry. I'm just
This jump scene.
the action sequences, like that opening action sequence with Freeze and Batman.
There were no ropes involved
It's
at
like
all.
13 minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so much skating because, it's 1997. So that
Oh,
was
and
when
then
skating
and
was
then
all the rage.
Batman like Fred Flintstone's down the tail of the dinosaur.
Yes. Yes, he does.
Yabba dabba doo, Mr. Freeze.
It's quitting time.
And I like how he just turns off Robin's bike.
Yeah,
while
because you
he's-
can do that.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
it seems like that would be, I don't know, an
Even
easy
more
way of
dangerous.
yeah. Maybe he was just trying to kill Robin. Maybe it's just,
What you mean, Dick?
yeah.
Yeah.
The flying dick, yes.
Get
She's
Grayson.
trying to kill you, Dick.
And he's
My other favorite line in the movie.
yeah.
I was like cracking up. I was like, well, technically his name is Dick Grayson.
I know, but it's so
It's
greatly
true.
placed. She's trying to kill you, Dick.
Well, and this part right here, so Freeze thinks he's won the day against Batman again. He freezes the Batmobile and he thinks that, okay, I've won. But then Batman ejects, and then all you see is him flying toward Freeze's car and Freeze going, oh no. And then all of a sudden he's lost. So like there's no fight, there's no nothing.
Right.
It just suddenly Batman's looming over him with his wings. And it's just,
I'm just thinking,
yep,
He pulls
here
him
it
out.
is.
He unveils him like a meal.
Yeah. I present to you our sacrifice.
Dinner is served.
He unveils him. The kind of vibe that I'm getting is like the old Sleeping Beauty, where like, here is your princess, and like whips the cape
A little
Yeah.
bit.
to reveal him.
Yeah.
Holy frozen Austrian Batman.
Oh, and this was about the timeline where Schwarzenegger had the
nipples,
affair.
nipples, nipples.
Ah!
Yeah.
No, but
So
you guys,
nice
this
and tender.
this was
With
about
the
the time
cape?
where he had the affair with the housekeeper.
Oh,
I didn't
Lord.
realize it was that long ago.
Oh,
Maria.
yeah. Oh, man.
I didn't realize it was that long ago. My God.
Was it really in the 90s when that
Oh my
was happening?
God.
Yeah, because his
When
kid
Arnold
is in
was
his
banging the
20s now.
housemaid?
Yeah, so that would make sense. I just
His
thought it
kid
was
looks just like him.
yeah.
Have you seen him? He looks like Conan, Schwarzenegger.
When
And I didn't know that Conan was offered around the same time the role of Conan for a third time.
oh,
He turned it down though.
yeah.
As
Oh, they were thinking about making Conan 3?
yeah.
It's funny that his
Conan
kid
2
looks
was
like him.
awful, so.
Yeah, it was.
Arnold didn't know how to solve a problem like Maria, so now he's got an illegitimate
Maria.
son.
Oh, yeah.
But
The Nazis are coming.
My number one customer.
You're our best customer.
oh my God.
Full circle.
But George Clooney is still a better Batman than Ben Affleck.
What?
Everyone's a
Get
better
out of
Batman
town.
than
Yeah,
Ben Affleck.
everyone's
My
a better
God.
everything than Ben Affleck.
Like,
Oh my God, I think I'm about to just piss you off, Jason. I think Ben Affleck is the best Batman since Michael Keaton.
get out. Out. Get out. no.
Yeah, turn off his
Yeah,
video.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
get
We're
out of
losing
this-
you.
get out
We're
of this
losing
Zoom
our
chat.
signal.
Cancel it.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, it's wrong, but it's fair.
Yeah. You
No,
can be,
I mean, his movies were terrible. I can agree with you on that.
Yeah, but I mean, look, Ben Affleck has been he's been America's punching bag for
quite a while.
a very long time.
Ever since he and Matt Damon broke up. Yes.
Yeah, ever since Reindeer Games.
God, yeah. Reindeer Games. Talk about a career-ending movie.
Yeah,
I will say that George Clooney is a better Batman than Ben Affleck is Daredevil.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fair
That's fair.
comparison.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
But in Daredevil, everything was
Terrible.
bad. Like, literally everything. So,
That's a movie for another time.
Yeah.
God.
No, before we watch the Daredevil movie, I want to watch The Phantom with Billy Zane.
The Phantom.
I remember that
Remember
movie.
that?
Yes.
I've only
In the
seen
purple
clips of
suit.
that movie.
The movie that destroyed Billy Zane's career.
Oh, poor Billy Zane.
Yeah.
What about Steel with Shaquille O'Neal?
I didn't even know that existed.
Shaquille O'Neal starred in his own superhero movie,
Oh,
and
God.
that's something you probably never wanted to know.
No, now I'm scarred for life. Thank you. Even more so than what this movie did. But
I knew a guy that worked on I think it was a TV commercial that Shaq was going to be doing, and it was a green screen commercial, and they had talked with Shaq's people and they explained to him how it works and all this stuff, and Shaq shows up and he's wearing a green shirt.
like Tina on Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, well, no, and they tell him like, Shaq, can we get you to change shirts?
Yeah.
Because it won't work on the green screen. Nope. Flat out refused.
What?
Would not change his shirt. No, go to hell. I'm not changing my shirt.
That makes sense. Sure, Shaq. Why?
I think eventually, after like trying to come up with some alternate, literally just writing a new commercial on the spot.
Yeah.
I think one of his managers eventually like went to his house and got a shirt and
Probably.
came back and said, just put it
Just
on.
change the damn
Just change
shirt."
the shirt.
But
Either that or
okay,
they raised his salary.
Yeah.
I do have a question here, guys, because Batman busts Dr. Freeze, and now he's been sent to Arkham Asylum, which is about 1 million years old. Yet it
Yeah.
has a freeze ray to keep him cool.
Yeah.
How exactly?
I think that's
I
a
think they
Wayne
built
Industries.
it specifically for him.
Wayne Enterprises took care of that. They
Yeah.
footed the bill.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to take.
Bruce sprung for the freeze ray.
He had to.
He did.
Have. He had to. Have.
Yeah.
I want to take a
He was
little.
like, listen, your friendly neighborhood millionaires got
Yeah.
you Arkham Asylum.
I want to take a little pause from the movie though right now and to ask everybody. So, how's everyone holding up in the quarantines? How about Mr. B? You look like you're holding up.
Looks like his sanity is hanging by a thread.
Well, you may think I'm wearing this suit just for this movie.
He's actually been wearing it for a month.
He's worn it for a week.
Yeah, have you?
Uniform.
That is important. Have you showered?
But I'll tell you, I look forward to getting back together with everyone again. That's what I miss the most.
Yeah,
you're here.
Too.
You're here.
Yeah,
you're here.
Yeah, it is. It's been trying. It has been trying. Has anyone lost track of time, like not known what day it was?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Several
Every day.
times.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
I've been working. I promise. I've been doing digital learning and everything, but this week has been spring break. And I didn't realize what day it was today until Adam was like, "Oh, we have the podcast."
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I still do those email reminders, gentlemen, so that at least something will exist to pop up and remind me to show up. So, yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, no, when I was actually like working from home, I knew what day it was at all times. But then when my job put me on hold temporarily, I'm like, I lost all track of time.
Yeah. It is amazing how quickly you can become disassociated from that stuff, you know,
with your routines.
I read once where, I don't know who it was that did this, but it was a way of interrogating prisoners was that you would turn a light on and you would just leave the light on in their cell constantly. You'd never turn it off.
And with a sense of time.
And within about 2 days, they had completely lost the ability to know even remotely what day it was, morning, evening, you know.
Well, that's the strategy with the Vegas casinos too, because there are no windows and people lose track of time and they just lose a ton of money, and they've been there for 8 hours. By the time they blink, they've been there all day. So it's the same sort of concept. You gotta keep some sense of routine. Have to shower on occasion, Mr. B. On occasion.
Well, in Vegas, it's time to leave when your oxygen tank runs dry.
Yes. Yeah. So when you're showering, do you shower? I'm imagining that I'm not imagining it.
Oh,
but,
my.
Well, okay.
Yeah, you are.
No, I was just wondering, like, you know, are you completely naked but for the cowl? Because that's how I imagine Batman showers. You know, he's got the cowl on and he's just.
That's how Lego Batman lives his life.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. The shower of justice.
You are correct. It is a water resistant cowl, and everything else. It's a birthday suit, and then my bath suit.
But that's why the ear flopped over, because of all the water pressure. It can't stand up anymore.
I can't keep it up for more than a minute and a half.
Phrasing, boom.
Oh, there it goes.
I beat you to it, Jason.
Minute and a half. That's not bad, right? I mean, that's like good, right?
How sad is your sex life? My God.
To your wife.
Oh, Lord. So anyway, Alyssa, I've been seeing that you've been doing kind of cooking sessions and stuff online. Tell us about that.
So my day job is that I'm a special education teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So with my kids, with every teacher, you have to focus on obviously the regular academics, but as well as social. And that has been my responsibility, is to do social skills and stuff like that. And for my children, they need to learn basic social skills. So giving them a cooking video, I film myself cooking things that they could do at home with their parents or without their parents, depending on how difficult it is. And then I send out a visual recipe that has the pictures of all the things that I use and pictures with words with the steps. So I'll be like a picture of a peanut butter container, a butter knife, and a piece of bread. And then underneath it'll say, spread the peanut butter on the bread. And they can follow it with the cooking video.
Well, that's a great idea.
And that helps them with socialization and also self-help skills.
This sounds like cooking that's on my level.
Even Jason can pull it off.
Yeah. That's how you make a peanut butter sandwich.
We have done smoothies. We've done a
Smoothies.
sunshine happy fruit snack. We've done grilled cheese sandwiches.
Ooh.
I have a video of us making our own Play-Doh. If anybody wants to make their own Play-Doh.
Hey, no, a lot of parents might get angered by that with their kids trapped at home. So I'm sure you're going to get some angry hate mail for that one.
Probably, but it's fine.
See, that's like my series on how to make napalm.
Yeah.
Parents had such a problem with that.
Yeah,
You know?
with enough soap, one can blow up just about anything.
Yeah.
But how about you, young Adam? What have you been doing to keep yourself entertained and sane during the quarantine?
Well, don't tell us everything.
well,
yeah,
I
don't
was
get too
working.
detailed.
Now I'm on temporary furlough, so what I'm doing is basically watching bad movies and reading a book for the first time in years.
And being my cameraman for all my cooking.
I am also the cameraman for all of her videos.
Oh, that's couple goals. That's so cute, you guys.
Well, you'll have to send us a link.
Yes, and I'll put it in the show
I'm
notes.
assuming that they're on YouTube, right?
Yeah, they're on Facebook.
Okay, all right.
Awesome.
We also binged a couple TV shows, Penny Dreadful and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
How was Penny Dreadful?
Awesome.
So good.
It was really
Awesome.
good?
Very
Okay.
cool.
Because Eva Green's in there,
gothic
right?
Horror,
Yes,
it's
she
right up
is.
your alley.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's Timothy Dalton and Eva Green. So
And
that's...
Josh
I don't,
Hartnett.
It does.
well, whatever. It's got Timothy Dalton and Eva Green. So I don't really care what it's about. You know, if it's
And
Eva...
Josh Hartnett.
I just said that and he shrugged it off. So, I mean,
okay.
I know I
But
care
Eva
about
and
that.
Eva Green, they're huge parts, and they are never not in the show.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'll
What did you say about...
recommend it to our listeners as well? Like, if you're in quarantine right now, like you are, watch Penny Dreadful. It's on Netflix. It's only 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So
Okay. That's good. I like it whenever a show doesn't go too long.
yeah,
You know,
it's a quick watch.
it's like Stranger Things. I really wish they would have just stopped. You know,
Yeah,
with
that's
Stranger
fair.
Things.
A lot of people wish that about a lot of shows,
Yeah.
like How I Met Your Mother. That one could have just stopped. But, you know,
Ooh, yeah.
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 How about Community? That lasted, 6 seasons?
It was a very...
Did you put him up to this?
It was a very difficult 6 seasons because it was on NBC, then it was canceled, then it was uncanceled, and then it did the 6th season on the now defunct Yahoo streaming platform. Yahoo had 2 shows, and they were both really good, but it wasn't enough to keep the platform going. It actually had a show that Joel Hodgson from MST3K was a part of.
Oh my God. Sorry to interrupt you guys, but did anybody just spot Coolio?
Yeah.
Julio.
Yeah.
Julio was in this movie.
Yeah.
Yes, he is for
Yes.
about 2 seconds.
Oh, Alicia Silverstone's in this movie, too.
Yeah, she just reappeared. How exciting.
And with the
In case
baby.
you forgot what movie we were watching, it's Batman and Robin.
Oh, right. We were discussing a movie. And
See, this is an example of something the 90s could not do right, but the 80s would have done perfectly, which is the punks.
yeah.
If this was an 80s movie, these punks would have been awesome.
It's like they
Did
were
you
trying to
guys
go for a
notice
Lost
the
Boys
gang?
vibe.
Oh,
The gang that was dressed up like the Clockwork Orange
yes.
gang.
Yeah.
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 The
But
Droogs.
this reminds me a little bit of Lost Boys with the motorcycle
Yeah.
rock
Yep.
all over the place.
Yeah,
It's
but
very Lost Boys-ish. Mixed
Michael.
with
Michael.
Michael. They're
You just
just
have to keep
noodles,
up.
Michael.
They're just noodles, Michael. I've made a huge mistake.
Yeah, you have to have that sort of obligatory 90s, badass girl scene where she's sneaking off and she's secretly an awesome racer person. And it's just.
Yeah,
we
but
didn't
Robin's
really-
got to come in and save her.
I know, but.
And how
see-
embarrassing is that?
Yeah, it's like you got saved by the boy wonder. How adorable.
You got
Boy
saved by
wonder.
Batman? Oh, you got saved by
By
Chris
Robin.
O'Donnell.
Holy sexism, Batman.
They did that in the Batman Forever because when he was just Dick Grayson and he was tooling around in the Batmobile, he opened up the car and like the hookers or whatever who were approaching him, they're like, "Oh, that's not Batman, that's Bird Boy," or something insulting to that
Yeah.
to that degree. So Robin's just always living in the shadow.
Because, we all hate Robin.
Oh,
Which is so weird that they would make a movie. And they were supposed to make a sequel. There were going to be 2 sequels, another Batman movie.
To
that
this
would-
movie?
Yeah, but they were going to
Yeah, it
go
was gonna
really
be-
dark.
well, and
Yeah.
this one actually dropped off like 63% by the second weekend.
Yeah.
It cost like something 40 or so million to make, and it did gross over 100 million in the box office, but it earned the least of all 4 of the Batmans.
So what I heard, and this wouldn't really work because it brings back something from the Burton Batman movies, but the next movie after this was supposed to be called Batman Triumphant, and it was supposed to have a cameo by Jack Nicholson as the Joker showing up in he shows up in a dream sequence that spurred off from Scarecrow shooting gas into Batman's face.
That would have been really cool.
That would have been.
Ooh, I like that.
Cool.
Yeah, and there was also supposed to be a Nightwing, a Robin/Nightwing movie.
There was supposed to be.
But what does everybody think about the Batman movie they're filming right now?
I was unaware of this until right now.
I'm excited. Robert Pattinson? Yeah, let's do it.
No. Okay, yeah, the Twilight. I had shut that out of my brain.
I'm
Twilight.
excited.
I mean, I'm open to it. I did see a picture of the Batmobile, and it's like a muscle car.
I think
it's
Robert
like a Charger.
Pattinson has the potential to be one of the best Batmans.
He
I
could
think
be.
he can do it.
This will be the movie that defines Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
I think.
Because he's actually a very talented actor. It's just that everybody knows him from Twilight, and that's his biggest billing. But he's in so many other films.
Like The Lighthouse, he's a great actor.
Hell, even Water for Elephants, that was a really good one with Reese Witherspoon.
I think if Pattinson, if he sticks the landing on this Batman movie, then he's gold. He's gonna have a long, wonderful, incredible career. If
He'll bounce back.
If he fails as Batman.
Yeah.
Even if it's not his fault, I think that this could be, it's going to go one way or the other. That's my ESPN prediction for the future of
who are the villains in this
Pattinson's
upcoming? Because
I don't even know.
Yeah, I was about to say, the only thing I know.
I think Paul Dano is playing the Riddler, and I think Colin Farrell is playing the Penguin.
Colin Farrell?
Colin Farrell, yeah. He's gaining some weight, apparently.
I would have cast Jay Moore.
What, Mr. B?
Colin Farrell?
That's what he said, Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Bullseye from Daredevil. So
Bullseye from Daredevil,
I'm not sure, but I'm less sure about that than I am about Rob Pattinson. So we'll see how that works out. My God.
I mean, Pattinson, to his credit, he has sought very, very diligently to distance himself from the Twilight franchise.
Yeah, and he's even to the point where he's dissed it so many times. Yeah, it's a big thing.
Because
he did it for the paycheck.
Oh, absolutely. He did exactly what any other actor would have done at that point in his career.
You best believe if I was an actor trying to make a name for myself and they offered me a lead in Twilight, I would have taken that in a heartbeat.
Of course.
Well, because they were the events of the summers for multiple years. So yeah absolutely.
And sparkly vampire.
Because he didn't get much play off of being Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter as much as you might think. But Twilight is what really got him recognized. So that's true.
Cedric Diggory.
Yeah, but going back to your point about CGI, Jason, apparently this was one of the first films to use it for stunt work, like when Batman and Robin are surfing in the beginning out of the clear blue sky from the rocket.
This was the era with the this movie, the Bond film Die Another Day.
Mm-hmm.
No, The World Is Not Enough.
World's Not Enough.
Yeah. There you
go. And not Blade 2, but like Blade. Was it Blade 3?
No, it was Blade 2.
Was it Blade 2 with the Bendy blade? Where they did the CG? They do the CG.
Yeah, there was a lot of CG fights in Blade 2.
And they just look so awful.
Oh, who can forget I know this is the 2000s, but who can forget the terrible CGI fight in The Matrix Reloaded?
Oh, God.
Oh yeah.
God. Absolutely. Yeah.
Terrible.
It's epic. It's like, I appreciate the fact that people are trying to use technology, at sort of the bleeding edge.
Yeah.
They're
trying to innovate, but you're going to stumble when that happens. But I have to give a shout out to Kaylee, speaking of The Matrix, because along with Star Wars, this is her first time ever seeing the Matrix movies. She's 18. She texted me one night and she was like, would I like Shawshank Redemption and The Matrix? I was like, those are two wildly different movies. What are you in the mood for right now?
No, you should have just told her they're essentially the same movie.
Shot for shot.
Shawshank and Matrix is actually a remake of the Shawshank Redemption.
But
I have a question.
Yes.
Two guys here. Did one eventually become a governor of Minnesota? Am I identifying him correctly?
Yes.
Ventura.
Yeah,
Who?
Jesse Ventura.
Really?
Yeah.
I did
so
not
this
know that.
movie spawned two governors.
Well, but don't forget,
Governor.
Jesse Ventura and Arnold Schwarzenegger were in another movie together.
Two other movies. Oh,
I know one.
They were in, of course, Predator.
Yeah.
And then they were also in The Running Man.
That's right. They were in yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I love that movie. I love The Running Man.
Great movie for another episode.
Yes. What were we just talking about?
The fact that Kaylee's watching The Matrix for the first time, but that was pretty much it. It was just she texted me and she goes, "Are the other two even worth watching?" I was like, "In my opinion, yeah, they're just not as good." So
I would tell her the opposite.
I hate the Matrix sequels.
Yeah, I would tell her to stop. Just the first
Matrix is fine on its own.
It's perfectly fine, and you don't need anything else.
It's okay to appreciate it for what it is, and just leave it there.
And they made the animated series, and they want to do something else. There's been rumors forever, but that's what they do.
Well, Matrix 4 is coming out the same weekend as John Wick 4.
How many damn John Wick movies are they going to make? My God.
A lot.
I've never seen a single one. So
they're really good.
I've heard good things.
They're really good, but they should have stopped at 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there another Bill and Ted coming out?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
Yes. Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
That should be like,
excellent.
if the world has put itself back together, that should be our first group outing.
Well, yeah, because they're moving everything. I mean, Top Gun 2 got moved to November, I think.
Ben Folds got pushed to November.
My Ben Folds.
November.
Yeah, the
one that upset me the most is Ghostbusters is not coming out until 2021.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell, even the Georgia Renaissance Fair got pushed to October.
But I think that's smart for Ghostbusters because Ghostbusters has to be a summer movie. It just has to be.
Oh, yeah.
For old people like me who used to go to movie theaters, that's a summer movie.
If those still exist by the time this even happens, because they're all shut down right now.
They will.
AMC's thinking about shutting down.
Altogether, or just like
AMC theaters are thinking about they might be going bankrupt.
Oh God.
Well, I think there's a lot of industries that were teetering on the edge of obsolescence, and this is just gonna. I mean, the movie theater industry, we've known it forever. We've known it was going to happen.
It's been in decline, yeah.
Because the business model is just so bad, and quite frankly, the product that they sell isn't very good.
It's too accessible by too many people.
Well, I mean, you can't keep the movie theaters alive on comic book movies. You can't do it. You got to have other movies, and you got to have movies. The ticket price has got to be cheap enough that people will take a chance. Yeah. And nobody wants to take a chance and spend $50.
Well, and I was thinking about that the other day because back in the 90s, because we had this conversation kind of about Kevin Costner and Burt Reynolds, how they could command a huge turnout back in their heydays, and you didn't even really have to know what the movie was about. You just heard, oh, Burt Reynolds movie? Oh, let's go and see what it's about. It didn't matter. You get maybe a sentence or two synopsis, but you just go on faith. That's what most movies were when I was growing up.
Yeah, think about it. If I said...
That's back when movie stars were the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I said, there's a new movie, let's go see it. What is it? I don't know the title. Harrison Ford plays a cop.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah. All right, let's go see it. Yeah,
Sounds good. But and you could just, do that on faith. And I think that's what happened with this Batman and Robin. Not only does this, the franchise itself have the name recognition, when you find out Arnold Schwarzenegger is playing a supervillain in a Batman movie, hell yes, let's go see that. Right. And then it turned into this dumpster fire of a movie.
Well, I think the movie...
Quick question. Who's a draw today? Are there any names out there that would start to draw audiences regardless of the film?
I think
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah. He's got some juice.
He's
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, I don't know if Margot Robbie...
He's got juice.
Tom Cruise has still got some juice. I mean, people are really excited about Top Gun.
I don't know why Tom Cruise makes flop after flop, but
he does. But I think you could probably count it on one hand. I mean, you still got Brad Pitt's still out there.
Yeah, he is. He's kind of slowed down a lot.
Leo is still out there.
Yeah, Leo's still a big deal. Especially after he won his Oscar finally. Yeah, that was like a big resurgence for him.
But
I will leave my home if I find out that Chris Pratt's in a movie. So
will so many girls, Mr. Darby.
I think Chris Pratt. I love Chris Pratt, but I think it's pretty obvious that he does it for the paycheck.
I think I'm
not gonna go see another Jurassic movie. I'm not paying.
I didn't see the last one. I think Ryan Reynolds could command an audience pretty well.
Ryan Reynolds, especially if it's just Deadpool.
Yeah, as long as he keeps riding that Deadpool wave, for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, and he will.
Oh, absolutely. As long as you're making money off of that, for sure.
But I think again though, you're talking franchises, and
once again the superhero thing,
and that's the thing. Like when we were kids, we would go see movies that there was no connection to anything else. It was just, well, this looks interesting.
Right.
And you tell, I mean, I know for me, back in the old days, you get the newspaper and Saturday morning, you open up the newspaper and there was that page in the newspaper that had all the theater listings.
And sometimes they were incorrect.
Yep.
So you missed the movie.
Yes. Yeah. God, that pissed me off.
Yes.
And you demand a refund and they go, you haven't paid anything yet. I'm like, well, you got to do something for me. But you
drove over here. I mean,
yeah.
Print it.
Yeah. But you would look at it and you would go, oh, well, this looks interesting.
Yeah.
And that was all you had. You didn't have 2 years of hype and, you weren't going on the internet seeing all the stories about all the troubles they were having during production and all the, a movie came out and who's in it?
Well, that's why, Jason, hindsight is horrifying.
Yeah.
Before the internet, movies had a bigger element of surprise, and I sort of missed that a little bit.
I do too. I've gotten to the point where I really try. As soon as I become interested in a movie, I did that with the Star Wars, the recent ones.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it really helped, but I tried very hard to avoid anything about them. I didn't want to know, what was going on, and
and I think that's part of the reason why this podcast is even a possibility, because back in the day, even if something did have that R rating, like you were saying, Jason, our parents we would read the Times in the paper, and even if it was rated R, it's like, oh, but it's a Kevin Costner movie. How bad can it be? And same thing with when John Cusack played Edgar Allan Poe in The Raven. My mom heard John Cusack movie, and she was like, oh, let's go see that for Mother's Day, and I was like, this is not going to be what you were expecting. I'm telling you this right now.
Right.
Back when John Cusack had a career. Yeah.
Oh,
that was a long time ago.
But like I said,
I love
my
John
mom,
Cusack. Don't get me
she
wrong,
heard his
I met the
name,
man,
and that's why we went. And then she was horrified by the movie. She hated it, and I was like, I told you were going to hate it. Come on.
This does not say anything. This is not high fidelity.
No.
Right. Yes.
This is not America's Sweethearts, Mom. Catherine Zeta-Jones didn't come anywhere near this.
Not serendipity.
No. God.
So
back to the movie.
Batman and Robin.
Oh yeah, Batman and Robin's playing.
One of the first Batman movies.
I don't even know what's going on here. I have no clue.
What's happened is Poison Ivy has busted Dr. Freeze out of Arkham Asylum, and now they've teamed up, and Freeze has to get more diamonds to power his suit. So they're busting back into his lair, and she is going to face off with Batman and Robin to collect his bride so that they can find a new lair. And that's what they're in the middle of doing right now. Yep. And what you don't find out, well, what Mr. Freeze is not aware of is that Poison Ivy's super jealous of his frozen bride, and she's going to find a way to deactivate her. So that is where...
Frame Batman.
Oh my God.
She's not a nice person.
She is just a witch with a B.
Yeah. Well, typical ego warrior.
Yeah.
He's a green meanie.
Yep. And Commissioner Gordon, I do have to say this. I always liked this Commissioner Gordon, but
I did too.
I liked him, but damn, he got a hell of a lot sexier when Gary Oldman took the wheel. I will tell you that. My God.
Yes, he did.
I never liked this Commissioner Gordon. Commissioner Gordon's supposed to be like this strong badass.
Yeah, he doesn't do much in these movies.
No, he doesn't do anything.
I love Gary Oldman.
Oh, yeah. Everybody loves Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman's amazing.
Absolutely. But yeah, here you go with the pheromones, and Poison Ivy just keeps manipulating Robin to the point where he forgets that he's gay for Batman.
Yeah,
so
it's just... That's how powerful those pheromones are.
Poor Robin.
And
with a lady?
And Robin's the younger man, too, so I guess he's more easily manipulated than...
Probably.
Maybe.
Sexuality, Batman.
Come back here, you some bitch.
And the suspense of poison lips.
Yes, did it.
You got me. You got me. Good job. Oh my God. Okay, you got me on that
Cock
one.
blocking me, Batman.
Seriously.
I'm gonna throw you in this
melted ice cream.
Yeah.
Whatever this is.
Scoopy bisque ice cream.
Yeah.
Now Robin will become a superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he'll get
Ice cream man.
He teams up
that
with
would
Freeze.
be my luck. I have the power to make ice cream.
It's like on Family Guy where the family becomes mutants
Yes.
and Meg can only grow her fingernails
Or
out really.
Meg's super amazing ability to grow her fingernails.
She scratches somebody. Ow, that didn't break the skin, but geez. What?
He's covered. Isn't he covered with like a thick fluid?
Yeah, a thick white sort of.
He and Batman just had a little fling.
That's what happens when he and Batman tussle.
Why is Poison Ivy walking like
pent
that?
up fluid from the whole Poison Ivy debacle.
Because she's doing the
there it
catwalk.
is. She kicked it.
Yep.
She kicked the plug.
Because you have that fantastically trash-tastic line later when she's fighting Alicia Silverstone. As I told Lady Freeze when I pulled her plug, this is a one-woman show. And it's just, oh my God, it's so awful.
You know, if I had someone I loved on life support, I'd probably have either a backup hose, like two
There'd
hoses,
be a contingency plan,
or a backup hose would be nice.
Yeah, or I would have a hose that you couldn't just like trip over.
Yeah,
and it instantly kill her.
Your wife's dead.
Yeah, I do love Poison Ivy's random pimp furry jacket that she has now.
Oh yeah, I think it's leaves. It's not fur. She likes plants better.
That's true.
And he just believes her. I guess because she busted him out of Arkham Asylum. Poison Ivy says, "Oh, Batman killed your wife." And come on, would Batman really stoop that low, Mr. Freeze?
That means I'm single.
The CGI tier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a CGI tier. Oh yeah.
And it has to freeze on his face.
And then it dwindles away.
Oh my God, that looks so terrible.
Oh lordy.
1997 CG.
And what's even better is that like her face, like, oh, I'm sorry.
Don't worry, I'll be your consolation prize.
What you can do with a Windows 95 computer.
Well, at least I can bang now.
No, we can't. We already established that
That's true.
due to
He
shrinkage.
doesn't get around.
Yeah.
He's got a raisin penis.
Yeah. God.
Poor Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, he's leading a rough
No wonder
life.
he's so frustrated.
Yeah, I was going to
all
say,
the time.
yeah, look how mad he is. Yeah. Well,
I will kill Batman, watch
years
his blood freeze in my hands.
Yeah, years of steroid abuse will do that.
Going to devour the god and gal.
Are you trying to tell me that Arnold juices? I don't believe you.
I don't think he does
Arnold's
anymore.
never juiced a day in his life.
Dare you, sir?
He's a cybernetic organism.
Oh, and we missed this when we were in Arkham Asylum, gang. Did you all notice that the Riddler suit was hanging in the hallway?
Yeah.
And Two-Face. Also.
That.
Yep. So we did have the callback to Batman Forever, so that was pretty cool. And now, I love this. The plant that she has modified into sort of a hybrid, it looks like Little Shop of Horrors, like, feed me, Seymour!
It does.
Feed me, Ivy.
God.
It has like a snake tongue, which is even creepier.
Well, yeah, because she was crossbreeding snakes and plants, so it would have a snake tongue. But now they've got this master plan to freeze the entire city, and then maybe the world, and then the plants can take over. Solid plan, absolutely. And they're doing. The only reason they are able to do that in the first place is because of the brand new telescope that Bruce so generously donated to the city of Gotham.
Yeah, way to go, Bruce Wayne.
Make that possible. And meanwhile, we haven't even touched on this. Alfred is dying. So
he's dying, apparently.
He's dying of the same disease that caused Dr. Freeze to freeze his wife in the first place to slow down her, McGregor syndrome?
McGregor syndrome.
Yeah, oh God.
Yeah, which is oddly convenient.
It is, yeah. Apparently, they both had sex with you and McGregor.
It's a movie about a guy with Lou Gehrig's disease. I can't remember what it's called.
No, whenever you get any bad haggis, you get McGregor's disease.
Oh my. Is that what they're calling it now? But yeah, so and the wife that when she does unplug the wife, that another really terrible line, but it came from Poison Ivy. She kicks the pipe or the hose out of the wall. She goes, "Who needs a frigid wife anyway?" And it's just, come on, somebody make it stop.
I want to meet the people who wrote the dialogue for this script. I really do.
So you can slap them in the face.
Well, I like, let's be charitable and imagine him sitting at a typewriter or a computer and there's a guy with a gun. It's like, please stop making me write this.
A studio executive with a gun.
Or could it have been the same guy? Because we discussed this. Whoever came up with "I'm hungry for love," they typed it, read it, and said, "Yes, this makes it into the movie."
Perfect.
Yep.
This will be my masterpiece.
Change.
This will be my legacy.
Oh God.
Listen, I picture whoever wrote the dialogue to this in real life. He talks in nothing but puns.
Oh.
I hope so. Like maybe he suffered a blow to the head, like a horse kicked him, and now that's the only way he can communicate. Kind of like with Bane.
Oh no, he fell into a vat of goo, and when he climbed out, He can just speak in puns.
He became the punniest man in the world.
Yes.
Hey, it goes along with the movie. Get over
Darmok,
it.
when the walls fell. Little Star Trek reference there.
Yes. Oh, guys, remember when CDs were the future?
Yes.
And they could
Yes.
control the world?
Here, take this laser video disc.
Well, and there's this whole deception with Alicia Silverstone. What's her name? Barbara?
Barbara.
Barbara.
Well,
Barbara, yeah.
Barbara Gordon.
it's supposed to be Barbara Gordon.
Oh,
It's supposed
no,
to
it
be
is Barbara
Gordon, but
because
it's
they're
not. It's Barbara Pennyworth now.
Yeah.
Pennyworth, I guess.
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
You got to have a Butler last name, sure.
I never realized that they changed Batgirl's origin in this movie
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
completely. It's not Commissioner Gordon's daughter.
Aw, and Michael
No,
Go.
Because
Alfred's niece?
look how old Commissioner Gordon is. It would be a little bit weird.
Yeah.
would be super-
It's a little bit weird that apparently Barbara is Alfred's niece because look how old Alfred is. How old is your mom?
Yeah,
Why does
but
Barbara
Alfred.
not have a English accent if she's from England?
Well, she was going to school in England. We don't know.
She
where
went to
was living.
Oxbridge.
Yeah,
I
Oxbridge.
thought she was supposed to be like British.
And they almost do like a ditzy clueless thing with her in the beginning when she first arrives at Wayne Manor because Bruce is like, "Oh, you were at Oxbridge, Alfred's alma mater," and she goes, "How did you know?" He's like, "Yeah, it's
Wait,
on your sweater."
Hang on. I'm looking at
Sweater.
Elle McPherson's acting talent.
Let's display your talents, darling, in this marvelous dress. God.
Oh,
She-
no. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Like I just don't really remember her. She's not super memorable from this movie for me. Probably because I wasn't a young man when I saw it.
Elle McPherson was more memorable because, like, in the 80s and the 90s, I mean, she was the supermodel.
She was the supermodel. But she.
I don't know who she is.
Yes, you do. She did a stint on Friends as Joey's girlfriend,
Oh,
his Australian girlfriend. And
Yeah.
she apparently regrets that because when she did it, she had no idea how big of a deal Friends was when she did the show. And so now, 20 years later, when it's on streaming services, her friends' kids will come over and they're like, "Oh my God, your mom's really hot on Friends," and it just makes her children miserable. So she kind of regrets doing it.
There's this thing called the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
Yeah, but kids don't
Yeah.
read anymore. So
Well,
they saw her on
you weren't
Friends.
really reading that either.
It's pictures.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
pictures.
nobody reads the
Yeah.
swimsuit edition.
that was in the era when Kathy Ireland's ruled the world.
And,
Kathy Ireland.
and Kelly LeBrock.
Yeah, Kelly LeBrock was a little before. She was like very early 80s.
Yeah, but
Kathy
still.
Ireland, Rachel Adams, Elle McPherson. I mean, there were like the Cindy Crawford. And,
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
It was a different era. We don't have supermodels. That's another thing we don't have.
Well, and this is what
we
I
don't
don't
have supermodels anymore.
Well, and here's what I don't understand about Elle McPherson in this movie. Because they've already had the
Ferson.
scene McPherson, sorry. You keep calling him Robert Pattinson, so I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but I don't give a shit about him.
Anyway, when she's
Pattinson.
having dinner with Bruce and she's pressuring him into marriage or, something more permanent, he calls her Ivy. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
sticking around after that. Unless, well, I know, factor in millions and millions of dollars, maybe I would. So
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah.
you can call me whatever you want, Bruce.
Yeah.
That's
You're
fine.
lucky you're a billionaire. Now sign this piece of paper.
Yeah.
Holy
we
prenup,
personally,
Batman.
She's like, "Who's Ivy? You just called me Ivy. Who's Ivy?" He was like, "I don't know."
And
And
he-
then the
Like,
scene
that'd be
ends.
the time I'd be like,
Yeah.
I would go.
No, but in that scene, he says that, like, I don't know, and then the scene just cuts.
No, but then
Yeah.
you see him envisioning Ivy.
No,
He
no,
knows who it is.
No, but when she asks him that, like, who's Ivy? You
Oh, I
called
don't
me.
know.
I don't know. And then the
He's
scene
like, "I don't
ends,
know."
and so it's like, well, in real life, when your wife or your girlfriend says something like that to you because you've screwed up, the scene doesn't just end.
No,
you
the
don't
scene-
get to. You don't just go cut to the next day.
No, the scene goes on for several weeks after that as she
It goes
punishes
on
you.
for a while.
Internet.
Who's Ivy? Seriously, who is she?
Yeah,
I need to worry about her.
I would not let that drop. But then she's just at a
Never.
gala with him. So, like I said, factor in millions and millions of dollars, and maybe she just let it slide that one time.
Yeah.
But
I need a penny, Jess. Just not forget that you called me by another woman's name.
I'll
What
get
is
over
it? The State Farm commercial.
Yeah. Ivy, I was saying I very much love you.
Oh,
There it is.
very nice.
Ooh,
Nice save, Bruce. Nice save.
I'm Batman.
And then you see a Poison Ivy pull off this. Sorry, we're getting a little bit of static. Hang tight.
Somebody.
Somebody's laptop.
I think we're back. I think we're
Okay,
back, yeah.
awesome. But Poison Ivy does such a deceptive move where she changes the bat signal into the Robin signal so that Robin won't feel like he's in Batman's shadow anymore. And just, planting those seeds of upheaval between Robin and Batman. And I just hate watching their relationship suffer. They mean so much to each other, and then a woman just drives a wedge. It's so sad.
Isn't that how it always goes, though?
Yeah. That doesn't last very, it drops off too. They don't really ever do anything besides that one fight that they have where Robin gets thrown into the vat of ice cream, and then Bruce goes, "You said this is what a family is. You've got to trust me." And so
be my brother.
Yeah, it just sort of drops off for a second until Robin encounters Poison Ivy again later in the movie. And so there's
Batman
some payoff.
and Robin, not Robin and Batman, and I'm sick of it.
Meanwhile, everybody's running around, fighting over Poison Ivy, and poor Michael Gough is just withering away upstairs.
I'm fine, sir.
And
hello?
There is a bit of a cute joke.
Is anybody there?
Poor Woodhouse. he's trapped beneath a medicine ball.
Every servant's worst nightmare.
90s Batman movies.
Seriously. But so he's withering away upstairs, and he does fall asleep when Barbara's ringing the doorbell, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir." And at least Bruce is graceful enough to be like, or gracious enough to say, "It's the first time it happened in 30 years. It's no big deal." Like,
Woodhouse. Sorry, sir. You better be.
If my
I'm going to make you eat
on the
so many spiders.
spider webs.
Spider webs.
Because that's like eggs 101 house. But anyway, so, oh God, this awful password moment where she tries like Bruce.
First of all,
Wayne.
The password is PEG, P-E-G. It's like the weakest password.
Well, this was 1997 before you had to sacrifice your firstborn and have a special character and 40 numbers in your password. So.
What do you mean select the pictures that are all bridges?
And this I don't even know why they made such a meal out of this side story where Alfred is saying that he's trying to find his other brother, Wilfred, because his parents didn't even try when they were naming
Alfred and Wilfred.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's also a butler to like a Maharaja in India or something, but they're always moving around, so they can't find him.
Like, go to India and find my other brother, Wilfred, also a butler.
And he makes such a meal out of, make sure that you get this CD to him. Don't open it. And of course, that's the first thing she does. And then she discovers the Batcave because that's where all the information is saved on that one
totally
CD-ROM.
missed that entire detail about Wilfred.
Oh yeah, no, it's like I said, they make such a meal out of it, and there's like very little payoff. It's like, why deceive her in the first place? You knew she was going to find the cave, but
because he even says like in the little like intruder alert video, he was like, "Oh yeah, I figured you'd find this eventually."
Yeah, there was literally no point to that. I guess he's just
well, you know why? Because of the Force. See.
The Force.
Yeah. That's how you explain any plot hole.
Oh, God.
The Force guided her down there.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So.
Well, she's such a good motorcycle driver. She'd make an awesome superhero.
Yeah.
There's the logic.
Because that's how that works.
Yeah, absolutely.
She can.
Did you ever notice when Clooney speaks, he bobbles his head a lot more than most actors do? That kind of bothered me a little bit too.
I didn't notice that.
And he's got a limp also.
Confidant.
He broke
and his ears flop.
He broke his leg at some point during production, and for a lot of the shots, they had to cut one leg off of the batsuit for the cast.
Oh no, I had never heard this story.
And it wasn't really level, so if you can actually see in a lot of shots that Batman kind of walks with a limp.
Oh man, I never picked up on that.
Also, Clooney not only does he feel like he's kind of monotone in this movie, but he also is like, I don't know, he adds an extra level of snark to Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah. It's sort of George Clooney.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally George Clooney as himself.
It's George Clooney playing himself.
And even the bombs are shaped like icicles.
God.
Because the aesthetics are very important.
How much money does Mr. Freeze spend at the Sharper Image? It's got to be a lot.
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it. Well, that's why he really has to steal diamonds. See, his suit only needs like 2 diamonds a year to run on. He's really spending that money at Sky Mall.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, so let's discuss how the movie ends.
Yes.
Which is
we're approaching the ending.
Yeah, which is with credits. So it's
also find out that Batman, Robin, and Batgirl all have to change costumes.
Hold on, young Adam, we're having trouble hearing you. Hang on.
I believe your internet connection is failing.
Yes.
Oh, did we lose him?
Yeah,
Are we
might have
good
lost
now?
it. We can hear you, but the picture's messed up, so we're trying to let it catch up to itself. But yeah, so
No.
I think the coronavirus has gotten to your router. My God,
we should
it's
never go
adapting.
outside.
It's the internet.
Oh God. And what's this unnecessary use of
Let me
50
know if it's better.
We will. What's this unnecessary use of a billion lasers in the Batcave that were not in Batman Forever?
He listens to a lot of Pink Floyd.
Is it the red and blue symbolism like you were complaining about earlier?
It's hot and cold.
Hot and cold lasers. But
He never does anything
It's
nice. and
Clearly,
easy.
red is for Robin and blue is for Batman.
Aw, that's
kind of cute.
Aw, and it's their anniversary.
Okay, it looks like we've got you guys back again. So what was the
Yay!
point?
Oh,
We're back.
What was the point you were trying to make a moment ago, Darby?
Oh, I was
It's
just saying,
Max
apparently you
Headroom.
find out soon that Batman, Robin, and Batgirl all have the power to change costumes within 5 seconds.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They have ice costumes later.
Yeah. Well, or maybe it was just one of the many innovations that Alfred put in their costumes.
And the camera stops right on her ass.
Yeah. And her boobs. Yeah. Hey, gender equality, Jason. If they're going to objectify the men, they've got to objectify the women.
Hey, I'm fine.
Because, superhero movies aren't notorious for objectifying women. That's never happened in the history of
Not
the
at
ever,
all.
ever.
Never.
And let me get,
Hashtag
and see,
Black Widow.
Eliza, Batgirl didn't have pockets either. Damn
That's
it.
right. That's right.
This is flat out just,
This is rude.
yep.
Rude.
And then I've got to say, I like Poison Ivy's lair better than Mr. Freeze's lair.
Well, yeah.
I like her sex.
do
Her
too.
sex layer is so cool.
Yeah.
Her sex lair. I mean, there is some symbolism there with the plant life and
I'll
whatnot.
breastfeed you all when I
Opening her
return.
flower to
My
Robin.
cat dragons. But yeah, so Robin shows up supposedly alone, and you have a moment where you worry if the Boy Wonder is going to make it through this situation because he seems to still be under Poison Ivy's spell.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. What's going to happen?
Uh-oh.
The leaves open for him.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
close.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like Maxwell Smart.
To the sex layer.
And she's just like casually like lounging on it in a sexy pose.
It's like she's Venus, but a Venus flytrap version.
Which is funny because she played Venus in Baron Munchausen.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
So maybe
She
that was
in the,
maybe that was a callback.
She was in the shell. We are rapidly running out of time.
We are, and we're approaching the end of the movie regardless. So let's mention what does Robin do, guys, to avoid falling into Poison Ivy's trap?
He wears a rubber.
Rubber lips.
He wears a rubber.
Rubber up.
Wear your rain jacket, always.
This is a subtle message for kids.
It
The
really
young
is.
viewers always use protection.
Always.
There you
That's
go.
why you glove up before you love up.
Yeah.
God. And yeah, because otherwise, if you have sex, you will die.
Yes.
Like they say in Mean
Yeah.
Girls.
And you will die.
Yeah,
Your genitals will turn black and you will die.
exactly. So yeah, we thwart Poison Ivy. Fortunately, Alicia Silverstone and Uma Thurman have to have their obligatory fight scene because the
Yeah.
two women have to face off, of
Yeah.
course.
Always.
It's a bad fight.
And-
It's a cat fight.
But yeah, so they thwart Poison Ivy, and then they have to face off with Mr. Freeze as he's trying to freeze the entire city of Gotham using that really impressive telescope.
Alyssa made the point earlier when I was watching it. When Robin takes his rubber lips off, why doesn't she quickly force
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
face?
That's
to
what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
In
thinking.
her
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah, and there's see, none of us were expecting that attack. Now all
Yeah.
four of us are dead. So
Yeah.
and why didn't she use her pheromones again?
Well, just
Like,
imagine if there was one person in this movie who was intelligent. You could take over Gotham City in a weekend.
probably.
Dogbert could do it from the Dilbert comics. He would rule Gotham City.
Underdog would stop him.
Never been.
I don't know where we go with.
See, same entrance that for Batgirl too. They do the same, like smashing through the glass for
Yeah.
everybody. It's ridiculous. But
And of course, like Batgirl has all kinds of like feminist lines.
Oh,
like,
of course.
Using your feminine wilds to get what you want. Women like you give us bad names.
Yeah, like I said, you got to have that strong woman moment.
Batgirl doesn't seem very PC. How about Batwoman or Batperson?
I think it should be Bat Person.
And then she's like, Bruce, it's me. It's Barbara. And he's like, yeah, I know.
No shit.
Yeah.
No shit.
He's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
She found
You're
the
covering
Batcave.
your eyes only.
I guess we have to kill her.
Kill her later.
She knows everything. Kill her now.
Yeah. God. Like,
Robin, you know what to do.
for real. And of course, the women have to have their obligatory fight because Uma Thurman gets the better of Robin and Batman for a minute because Robin just keeps getting thrown into vats of liquid and sort of trapped there for a moment. And that's a motif for him. And she's checking her hair in the knife blade.
Her hair and the reflection of her knife.
And thank God, you guys, that Batman had this recording device so that he could prove to Mr. Freeze that it was, in fact, Poison Ivy who pulled Lady Freeze's plug. So thank God he was hanging upside down.
This recording device does professional close-ups and editing and everything.
Absolutely. Even though he's upside down, it rotated. That was advanced technology back in 1997.
It was.
Like we've got phones that rotate now, but geez, that was really handy.
97.
So let's talk Alf to Seinfeld.
Indeed, because several of us were, quite young when this movie came out. So
and for me personally, I didn't like it when I saw it, but originally, but I didn't hate it. And I hate it. It's so crappy. So,
Well, I'll tell you, I'm in the similar camp. When I first saw it, I was expecting something serious, and I was very disappointed. But now I understand what angle they were trying to achieve, so I'm a little bit more patient.
okay.
And one last thing, do you remember with the original Batman series, when you saw it as a kid, it was great because it was colorful and Adam West and Burt Ward. And then as a teenager, it was uncool to like it. You're like, oh, no, I don't watch that. Then when you were an adult, you finally understood the campiness and it became popular.
Yeah.
I think this might, to a lesser extent, fit that bill.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 4.
That's way nicer than you were to me on Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. So
because Robin Hood started higher.
Okay, and it got worse.
Started
Got
higher.
it. So,
Yeah, this didn't have very far to fall.
That makes sense.
So I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna go with a 4 for mine.
Okay. Oh, and of course the dog freezing as it's trying to urinate on a hydrant. You gotta. Oh, and I've got a question about who knows about this. How did they get Freeze's teeth to glow like that? Is it a UV light in his little chin?
Yeah,
piece?
there's a little light in the chin piece.
Is that what it was? Okay, I was wondering about that when I was watching this because I was like, how did they get his teeth to look like that? That's pretty
I love
cool.
the blue teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly. But all right, so Alyssa and young Adam, what's your score for Alf to Seinfeld?
You first.
So I've always loved this movie. I'm gonna be honest. I love this movie. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I grew up on it, as well as the Adam West Batman series. So I'm gonna give it a 6. I love this movie.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Young Adam, how about you?
I'm going to go right down the middle and give it a 5 because when I was a kid, my least favorite Batman movie was Tim Burton's Batman Returns, but now that's my favorite one. And Batman and Robin was my number 2 next to the 89 Batman movie. But when I was a kid, I loved this movie, and I thought it was a legitimately really good Batman movie because I watched the Batman animated series from the 90s. I watched the Adam West TV show. And now as an adult, I enjoy it just as much as I did when I was a kid, but I enjoy it for completely different reasons now.
Okay.
It's a bad, terrible, bloated movie, but it's so freaking fun to watch, especially with a drink, which is something I couldn't do at age 5. So, I got to give it a 5.
Oh, so the alcohol is influencing this particular decision.
So we
Very well might be.
We have a 6, a 4, and a 5. So we're heading straight for the middle. We're averaging at 5 so far. So
I'm gonna have to follow suit. My mentor, young Adam, gave 5. I'm gonna give it a 5 also. It started out when I saw it decades ago. It would have been a 3, and then, as I said, with the second look and further assessment, I bumped it up a couple. I'm giving it a 5 too, just like you. YA.
Okay.
So that's
Thanks, OA.
so we're still at 5. It's up to you.
It's resting on Darth's viney arm.
This totally meaningless thing that we're doing, it's all down to you.
I'm sweating bullets here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so back in the 90s, I was a huge fan of Batman Forever. Once again, that's another one that I haven't seen in a very long time. And I loved that one dearly. And I liked this one too, just because it continued the franchise. You still had enough like recognizable people. I loved Michael Gough as Alfred. I love Chris O'Donnell as Robin, because I think he does a really good job, despite the fact that he and Clooney have zero chemistry. But I didn't like this one as much as I like Batman Forever. So back in the day, I might have given it a 6 or a 7. And I'm going lower, guys. I've got to give it a 3, and I'll tell you why. Because I know y'all, the Adams are saying that it's attempting that Adam West campiness, but I don't think it really is. It has so much campiness, but takes it too seriously. Unlike Adam West, who would punch somebody and you see the visual bang, thwap, and that was not taking itself seriously at all. Which is why I think, you know,
it misfires on the camp.
Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't do camp well, and it had too many serious actors who were up and coming and really trying to be taken seriously in Hollywood. So it just didn't have the right vibe. So I've got to give it a 3. It's god awful.
Well, by my math, that gives it 4 something. Less than 5.
Yes.
For me though, I was such a huge fan of the tone and style that the Tim Burton movies were going for. I prefer those films.
Yeah.
And for a while, I was really upset that Schumacher came along and sort of rebooted everything and took over and changed everything. But when I start to look at the Schumacher movies as their own separate universe, as their own thing, and sort of paying homage to the old campy Batman, I enjoy them on their own level now. So
okay,
fair
enough. And then I think before we get out of here, let's see if we can play one more quarantine game.
Okay.
So guys, I texted you and Mr. B about this the other day, and I don't know if you've had time to think about it, but you guys know, like, and we haven't talked to Darby and Alyssa about this, but we have dubbed the generation of children that will be born 9 months from now. They're the Coronita babies.
Okay.
So when they are teenagers, they will be the quarantines. Then when they are old enough to go to a bar, they'll be able to order themselves a nice quarantini. So we've done that game. That's been established. But what are the names of these children that are going to happen? And I can go. Alyssa's got one. Go for it.
I have this. So because of the whole quarantine and everything, and being a teacher, you find that people love to like spin common words that they use during the time of conception. Honestly, we're gonna get some Coronas.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
We're gonna get some Purells.
Oh yeah.
We are gonna have at least one Lysol or Lysol.
Yeah.
Okay.
And definitely some quarantine and quarantinas.
Yep. Okay. Quarantina. I've heard that one.
I want to meet a kid named hydroxychloroquine.
I mean, I've also heard some people being like COVID or Co-David.
Yeah. Oh no.
Name your daughter Toila. You know.
See, my idea is going to be
Dr. Burks. Fauci.
No, I think I've got it, you guys. I think I've got it. So, you know, Alyssa, a similar setting, and this is how I visualize it. There's going to be a young girl, you know, doing roll call with her teacher, and it's going to be the first day of school, and they're going to be like, Quarren? And the girl's going to correct them and say, no, it's Karen. It's spelled like Quarren, but it's pronounced Karen.
Karen.
So that's how that's going to go.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or like I saw one where it was like a teacher going through roll call, and it was like Purell, Lysol, Quarantine, Quarantina. And then it was like Joe. And she's like, oh, thank God, it's a common name, Joe. And it's like, oh, you go by your first and middle name? What's your middle name? Exotic. Joe Exotic.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
A lot of Baskins.
Lots of Baskins, but no Carols.
No Carols. No, absolutely not. Mr. Brown, do you have any suggestions?
I had them, but guess who stole them all?
Me?
You did. Purell, my favorite one, because it's multi-purpose.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some vitamin C's out there too. Some echinaceas.
Oh, yeah.
We already had one vitamin C, and look how that turned out.
God.
Put a smile
I mean, I
on
still
your
stand by
face.
the fact that I went to high school with twins that were named Lamangelo and Orangelo.
Did you really?
And it was spelled like lemon jello and orange jello.
But wait, but
Oh my God.
you actually yourself knew
Yes.
these people.
Yes.
That's worse than Alfred and Wilfred. Way worse.
I know. Lamangelo and Orangelo. And
I
then
knew-
there were other sets of twins that were named Alexander and Alexandra, and they both went by Alex.
That's
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I knew twins who were born on Christmas Day, and they were named Holly and Noel. And I thought,
Oh.
you know, it's borderline.
all right.
You know,
See, Mr. Brown, this is
My
this.
best friend went to high school with a guy named Merry Christmas Nickel.
Oh, no. Well, see, I think this makes Mr. Brown feel better about his son's middle name, as we well
God,
know.
what's your son's middle name?
Danger.
Danger.
Middle name.
Stop. I love it.
It's amazing.
But see,
I
that's
love it.
classic.
Yes.
To me, that doesn't, ring super corny. So there you go.
Well,
Danger.
I just watched Goldmember, and my two name of the two twins is Fook You and Fook Me.
yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Love it.
Why don't we close with that?
Absolutely. On that bombshell.
Well, we do want to thank. First of all, we want to thank all of our guests
Absolutely.
who
For
have joined
zooming
us,
in.
who have joined us here tonight,
Please.
virtually, because that's what we're doing nowadays.
They zoomed in with an Adam West sound effect.
Yes, but we also want to thank you guys out in the audience. We've had a few people who have reached out to us to ask us how we're all doing.
Yeah, we didn't know you cared. That's really impressive, guys.
Totally,
Thank you.
totally appreciate that. We are doing well. We're here. We're still going to be making episodes.
We're maintaining a respectful social distance from one
social-
another, even in the
social
studio.
distancing, yes.
Yes.
But look, we're still pulling for all of you guys out there. We're all in this together.
Absolutely.
And, we hope that you're holding together, and we hope that our shows help a little bit. If it helps just a tiny little bit, then we're doing our jobs.
Yes, and our support page is still a work in progress. We are working on supporting anybody who's, suffering during the pandemic as far as work. So hairstylists, artists, anybody really. If you've got something that we can link to, if you're doing virtual services, or if you've got a virtual tip jar, if you play piano or whatever, we're happy to help with that. So please send that to us.
If you're a restaurant that does takeout and you've got a link to a page where people can send us that, we'll put a link there.
Yes.
We want to help out.
Because like with Variant Brewing, they're currently doing curbside crowler service, which is great. So we're still in Variant Beer while we're filming, which is awesome. And they're being respectfully socially distant, and you can just pick up your crowlers curbside. You can even order on their website and tip the people who are braving their jobs there right now. So please, if you can support someone local, please do it. And if you need help, please reach out to us on our social mediums, and we'll be more than happy to add you. It's a work in progress, as we said. So once we build it, we can still add to it. So if you're late to the game, send us your stuff, and we'll get you added on there.
And so everybody be well. Thank you for spending your daytime, your nighttime, your not drive time, or whatever time it was with us. We'll see you very soon. Be well, be safe. Good night.